Coming up on this part of the journey, I head to the hometown of Kurt Cobain, as well as a few days in and out of Olympic National Park. And as always, lots of hiking and free dispersed camping. Enjoy. All right, so it's about almost 9 a.m. on July 5th. I had a pretty tough night last night, to be honest. It was July 4th, and I was staying at a rest stop near Astoria because that was literally the only place that I could find. And of course, it filled up, and everybody was shooting off fireworks, and so I didn't even get to sleep probably till midnight. But then the more interesting thing started. About 3 a.m. I woke up and there was police officers in the parking lot, and more were flying by and coming to the other end of this lot where I'm driving through actually right now. And I heard someone say help, I thought, but I was still really groggy and I couldn't tell what was going on. And then I could hear a guy screaming once the medics arrived. And apparently this morning I talked to a couple of fishermen that were here, and they said somebody got shot last night in this parking lot. So that was tough to sleep the rest of the morning through. So anyway, I'm fine. I feel okay. It's just one of those things. I think I happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I think it was pretty random, but it just is a good reminder to try to be as safe as I possibly can. And sometimes bad things happen even when you are being safe. So hopefully the guy's all right. But anyway, for me today, I'm heading to Cape Disappointment, which is a park near here that I've been recommended that I should check out, and then heading to Aberdeen, Washington. I'm a big Nirvana fan, so there's a lot of history there. And then heading into, I believe it's Olympic National Park, to find a spot to camp. So I'm at a beach just outside of Cape Disappointment. As I was there, one of the overlooks, I noticed on the beach in the distance there was cars driving on it, so I figured I'd go have a go. And so here I am, and make a little lunch, and then gonna head up towards Aberdeen. So I've made it to Aberdeen, Washington, which is pretty much the birthplace of Kurt Cobain, and where he spent the majority of his youth. And it's a pretty rough town. It's pretty gritty, as they say. So I'm just kind of cruising through and seeing some of the memorials and places where Kurt spent time or was born or whatever. And this is the Kurt Cobain Memorial Park, which is under the Yonge Street Bridge, which is a place where he is purported to have slept or hung out with a lot of his friends as a youth. And it's a pretty cool place, pretty cool to be in the space where he plied his trade and had his formative years. So it's a tough place. I can see why it might have shaped him as an artist, but I'm glad that I was able to make the trip. All right, so it's about 3 o'clock and I'm just getting into Olympic National Forest, which is about an hour or so north of Aberdeen. So now just getting in and gonna try to find a spot to camp for the night. All right, so this is the spot I got. It's about a couple minutes, a couple miles up off the main road, and it's quiet. I've been here for a couple hours and only had one other car go by. For the most part, can just hear some distant road noise in the distance. A couple things. I wish it was a little bit off the road, and I wouldn't stay at a place like this normally unless it's super quiet like it is right now. But then on the other hand, it does have really strong internet and cell service, which is a positive. So all in all, I'm going to take it. I'm going to grab a shower and cook some dinner and then call it a night. All right, it's about 7 a.m. on Tuesday, July 6th, and I'm up early because I talked to a friend of mine last night who spent a lot of time in this area, and she laid out a pretty ambitious agenda for me over the next few days, so I got to get moving. Two big stops today. The first one is the Coe Rainforest, and the second one is Cape Flattery before finding a camp spot up on the water tonight. So first leg to get to the Coe Rainforest, I got about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I've got the Parks Pass.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Can I get one of those brochures off you if you wouldn't mind?
Sure. I do got our newsletter too.
Beautiful. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, it's about 9 o'clock and I made it to the Coe Rainforest, which is actually, I didn't know this earlier, but it's actually on the western side of the Olympic National Park. So technically I'm actually in the national park, and just doing a short little trail called the Hall of Mosses to take in the sights in this area, which is absolutely stunning. It is already heavily trafficked. It's only 9 o'clock and there's lots of people out on this trail already, which is so surprising, I guess, because it's the summertime and people are out and about and seeing places. So anyway, I'm gonna try to do a couple of short hikes in this area and then head on from here. It's getting on 11 a.m. and I'm just leaving the Coe Rainforest, and that was an amazing experience. I know a place is good when I can't stop taking pictures, and I definitely could not stop taking pictures of the place. So I hope whatever I took does it justice. But anyway, I'm gonna drive out now and try to find a quiet spot along the Coe River to have some lunch. Right, it's 5 o'clock, happy hour, and I've been driving around for a while this afternoon. One of those days where had to log a lot of miles. The spot where I was going, Camp Flattery, was closed due to COVID, so I never even made it there. And then I just kind of spent the last hour or so driving around in Olympic National Forest looking for a good spot. Never really got the ideal one. The main problem is the bugs. They're out like crazy, the horse flies. And so I've tried different elevations, by the water, not by the water. Can't get anything to avoid the flies, so I'm just gonna have to deal with it. But anyway, this is me for this evening. I'm way up in elevation and I'm way out of the way, so it should be pretty quiet tonight. Got a nice fire ring and it's nice and secluded. So I'm gonna pop the tent and hunker down, try to make some dinner and avoid the flies, and then get on with the exploring tomorrow. All right, it's 7:30 a.m. on Wednesday, July 7th. First things first, happy birthday, Marissa, if you're watching this. Secondly, I gotta go get gas. I'm really low. I was kind of irresponsible yesterday, so gotta get out of the forest and find some gas. And then a couple other recommendations by my friend who used to live out here. Soul Duck Falls is the first stop, and then Lake Crescent is the second one. And then those are both on kind of the northern portion of Olympic National Park. And then from there, heading down to the southernmost end to try to find some camping for the night. Right, it's about 9 a.m. and I'm on the Soul Duck Falls Trail, which is only, I think, a mile out and back, so it should be pretty easy. A lot less people here this morning, which is nice. So it's not, I don't feel crowded at all. And I can already hear the falls. It's not too far. It's a nice drive in along the Soul Duck River. So really pretty area, beautiful weather. It's like 60 degrees and feels nice and crisp, but not too cold. So looking forward to a good day. All right, so Soul Duck Falls was awesome. It was a great hike. Started to get really busy towards the end as I came back out of it. Luckily, I got there early, and now on the Ancient Grove Trail, which is just a mile loop, but a lot less trafficked, but almost as beautiful. And I'm right kind of overlooking the river where I'm at right now. So just gonna do this hike real quick and then go grab lunch. All right, it's about noon, and I just left the Soul Duck portion of the national park, and now I'm heading towards Lake Crescent, where I'm gonna have some lunch over there. I'm actually driving along the north portion of the lake right now. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I'm heading there to have lunch real quick, and then I got another hike to do this afternoon. Right, it's a little bit after 5 o'clock. I just drove for a few hours away from Lake Crescent to get to where I am now. It's kind of on the southernmost portion of Olympic National Park, just south of that, in fact, in the National Forest. And I had intended today, after spending some time at Lake Crescent, to do a hike to a waterfall there, but the parking lot was literally overrun and I couldn't even find a parking spot. I think that right now, with how busy the national parks are, if you don't do something early before the crowds get there, your chances of actually having a nice experience are pretty slim. And so I decided to bag it and just drove down to where I am now. And I actually have a really nice camp spot. You can see, hopefully behind me, down below me, is some water running through the area. And then I'm parked just up there. So anyway, it's nice and quiet. I like my spot, and I'm gonna start to make some dinner and then call it another day. Right, it's Thursday, July 8th. It's getting on about noon. I just had some lunch and broke camp. I had planned today on going into Seattle to visit a friend of mine, but she had to reshuffle some things, and so I'm actually going to push that till tomorrow. So today I just worked on some video editing in the morning, and now there's about a 4 or 5 mile hike that's near where I stayed last night, and so I'm going to go check that out. It's about 3 o'clock, just pulling out of the parking lot for that hike, which was awesome because I was able to fill up all my water bottles as well. What a beautiful hike. I really enjoyed it. Ended up being about 4.5 miles, which was perfect, and amazing views. Hopefully the footage I shot does it justice. So anyway, since my plans changed, I'm gonna head back to that same area where I camped last night. There was a few other good sites that I saw that were taken on the way up, so I'm hoping I can snag one of those, or at least get the campsite that I had last night anyway. So we'll see, but about 20 minutes to get back up there. All right, so it's about 6 o'clock and I lucked out. This is the exact spot that I was hoping would be open, and luckily it was when I got back here. And I'm glad I got here when I did, because about 20 minutes after I got here, somebody else came looking around trying to get it. So I got here just in time. Beautiful views over the lake, and don't know if you'll be able to see it behind me, but there's snow-capped mountains up that way as well. So it's only about 500 yards away from where I slept last night, but the views are better at this one. Unfortunately, no internet service, but I'll take it. I mean, the views are incredible. So anyway, just gonna grab some dinner and then crawl up in the tent and call it a day. Right, it's about noon on Friday, July 9th. I had an awesome morning, awesome night. In fact, I didn't have any internet service to speak of there, but what a perfect campsite otherwise. Beautiful views, slept like a baby. Slept in this morning and drank coffee and finished up a book I was reading. And I had some lunch, did my dishes, shower, the whole deal. So anyway, I'm gonna turn the cameras off for the next day or so. I'm going to Seattle right now to visit a friend, so I'm gonna go catch up with her. And then after that, it's on to a couple of different national parks, Mount Rainier National Park and North Cascades National Park as well.